Andy Johnson, Minnesota State University. We are looking at microaggression, bullying, and harassment. How do we address this on our campus and on other campuses in the Min-State system? This short video will look at these 4 things. So let's take a look at the problem. It is a problem and it continues to be a problem. It has been for a long time. And some people say, well, I don't know. I've never seen it. What is all this stuff? And that's the problem. If you haven't seen it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It does exist. It exists more than we like to think about it, and it impacts diverse groups disproportionately. Now, in the past, they've had campaigns to be nice to each other. That hasn't worked. Investigations through HR and Title IX, we're going to investigate our way out of this MBH problem. Hasn't worked. And deans say, well, it's a department issue, you go work it out. That just reifies the behaviors. We are the IFO. We are the Faculty Association. Us, not out there. So we can fix this. It starts with knowing what it is. And we can't assume that everyone knows what it is. Small bits of bigotry, discrimination, slurs, abuses, or suppression. Now, not a single incident or a few incidents rise to the level that's actionable by Title IX or HR. It's many incidences occurring over time. And these small acts can have both a psychological and physical impact on the person and create a toxic work environment that makes it hard to do the essential functions of the job. And if you haven't experienced, you don't know how devastating it can be. It can be both implicit and unintentional. We have all microaggressed at times. Or it can be explicit and intentional. Include some of this. Micro-invalidation. Comments, behaviors used to negate, nullify, demean the ideas, comments, qualifications, or experiential reality of another person. Micro-insults. Written or verbal comments that subtly demean another person. Discourse that's mocking, sarcastic, or snarky. Not a single incident, but an accumulation of small incidents over time. Microassault. This is explicit and intended. Derogatory comments, actions that are purposely intended to demean or diminish faculty. And subtle acts of exclusion. Those things that are done to mute or muzzle their voices, scheduling meetings without telling the person, excluding them from a committee or a work group, excluding a person from important conversations, making decisions without getting input, disallowing dissenting views and minority voices to be heard during meetings and other conversational spaces. Not a single incident, but many incidents occurring over time. And soft bullying. Behaviors meant to demean, damage, silence, intimidate, or exclude individuals. And again, it can be subtle or slight, but over time creates a toxic working environment. Now it's recognized. University life, yes, there's going to be small interpersonal slights and uncomfortable incidences and occasional rude behavior. We expect this. Soft bullying is identified by the intensity, frequency, and duration of the behaviors. As well, for our university to evolve, we need to have opposing ideas and conflicting views and rigorous academic debate. This is a part of university life. However, bullying occurs when the focus is on the person and not on the idea. We don't want to eliminate academic debate, but when it focuses on the person and not the idea, we've crossed the line. We want these behaviors to go away. And you can see them there. You can stop the video. not a single incident, but small incidents happening over time. We want these behaviors to go away. Again, not a single incident, small incidents occurring over time. Harassment. The conduct is severe or persuasive enough to create a work environment that is intimidating, hostile, or abusive. That's what it is. How do we prevent? The best way to solve a problem is to prevent it from occurring. Well, the IFO contract gives us some ideas. Every year, department faculty shall establish annually or more frequently as appropriate through a democratic process and in a manner consistent with university procedures and the provisions of this agreement, department goals, objectives, policies, procedures, and teaching and other work schedules. Democratic process. Every year, policies, procedures, provisions, teaching, and other work schedules. Now, we cannot assume that everyone knows what a democratic process is. It's not simply majority rules. It's a set of checks and balances, so no single voice or view dominates, and all voices and views are heard. No single voice or view dominates, and all voices are heard. And this is why we use some form of Robert's Rules of Order, where we recognize speakers and we vote on committees, who gets into them, and their work, what they recommend. Now, department meetings. Over-talking is a subtle act of exclusion. So, who does the most talking at faculty meetings? I encourage you, keep a pie chart in your head. This is to be a shared conversational space. So always think, who's eating the most pie here? And under the contract, this is confusion. The chair is a representative position, not an administrative position. The chair does not get to make decisions for the department. All department recommendations, including schedules, must be reviewed and approved by all department's faculty. So what do you do if you're experiencing MBH? We have a faculty remedy and support group, 7 to 10 faculty members, gender balanced. All members are vetted by the diversity caucuses, and we will receive training. Faculty members who believe they're a target of MBH can contact our group. We'll validate and support you, and the first thing we'll ask you is to start documenting the behaviors. If the faculty wants to move forward, you have 3 options. Our faculty remedy, and I'll tell you about that in a minute, adaptable resolution, and the formal investigation process. And in my role as vice president of our faculty association, I'm already doing this. So the complainants are asked to start documenting the behaviors. Now you have 4 options. We can meet with the perpetrator and the complainant to resolve it. We can meet with just the perpetrator. We can meet with the complainant or dean, or we can meet with just the dean. If the behaviors continue, we'll present documentation to the dean. The dean is your supervisor. And if the behaviors still continue, we'll file a formal complaint with HR or Title IX, or take it off campus to the EEOC. We are not trying to eliminate the traditional formal investigation process. We're trying to avoid it. These are the current members. We take nominations. Again, all nominations are vetted through our diversity caucuses. And we do not, we are very aware of this, want the process to become weaponized. Oftentimes the investigation process is.